Cool. Awesome. All good, Matt?
All good.
Nice. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar showcasing Figure's planning solution for non-farming businesses, Commercial Manager. My name is Andrew Layden, and I'm responsible for leading Figure's market growth across New Zealand.
My name's Matt McLaughlin, and I'm a partner success specialist, and I support our accounting partners getting the best out of Figure.
So today we're really excited about giving you a bit of background to Commercial Manager and what it's all about. We're very lucky to have Malvina Scott here from BFA today to share about her experience and BFA to share their experience of using the tool across their clients. Then Matt will have the opportunity to take you through the platform, show what it's all about, the value it offers. We've got a bit of an offer to help you get going and utilising the product across your firm and with your clients. And then we'll wrap up the webinar with a bit of a Q&A session, giving you opportunity to ask any last minute questions before we head off for the day. Bit of housekeeping before we start. We're expecting this webinar to go for around about 35 minutes. Feel free to ask any questions in the Q&A section or the bubble down the bottom there. We're very lucky to have Scott Campbell, our partner success specialist, here today. He'll be answering the questions as you go through. So feel free and don't be shy to put those questions into that bubble. And also a recording will be sent after this webinar. Okay, so if you've got some colleagues that can't make today because they're a little bit busy, obviously a bit stuff happening on in the North Island right now, feel free to share that around to your team after this. So just a bit of background to Commercial Manager before we get into the wider webinar. I guess probably the key thing, it was built from market feedback. Okay, so as a lot of you probably know, Figure supports planning for farmers, and that's really at the core of what we do. But based on that market feedback, particularly coming from our accounting partners, we recognise an opportunity to strip back the farming stuff and have an easy planning experience for non-farming businesses. And Commercial Manager was born. Today, you'll have an opportunity to learn a little bit more about this tool and why accounting firms and also commercial businesses love using it. And today we're very lucky, as I said earlier on the piece, to have Malvina Scott from BFA to be here with us today to share her experience of using the Commercial Manager tool in her firm and with her clients. Malvina, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, guys.
Welcome. And hey, before we start, Malvina, I'm sure the audience is keen to learn a little bit more about you and BFA. Would you mind just sharing a little bit of background to you guys?
Yeah, so I'm Malvina Scott, and I'm one of the partners at BFA. We've got 10 partners at BFA who specialise in different sectors, from agri, forestry, corporate, multi-business, medical, professional services, and SMEs. We have a team of 61 staff with 2 offices in Taupō, 1 dedicated to agri and an office in Rotorua. We're quite, I feel like at BFA, we're quite early adopters of technology, and we do pride ourselves on using technology to provide solutions for clients. We were one of the first firms using Xero, and we helped Figure team develop Commercial Manager.
Fantastic. No, thanks, Malvina. That's really awesome. And, we love working with you too. Hey, just set a bit of a scene. How are you preparing, or how are you and the teams preparing forecasts and reports for your commercial clients prior to using Commercial Manager? And probably an extension of that is, what were some of the pain points of doing what you did previously in other sort of formats?
Yeah, so before using Commercial Manager, we were predominantly preparing budgets in Excel and then importing those into our clients' accounting software. So a huge pain point with doing this is there's quite a big area of risk in terms of formulas being incorrect or adding wrong and not updating. There's also quite a bit of double handling once entered in Excel, then having to input it into the accounting software, or actuals being inputted into Excel. So just quite time consuming, really.
No, fantastic. Yeah. No, that's fantastic to hear. So you found that commercial manager certainly helped sort of streamline that process, I'm assuming.
Yeah, definitely.
And what were some of the advantages of using commercial manager and the differences versus other commercial reporting tools that you may have used in the past?
So you have a live budget that can obviously be updated regularly. It creates efficiencies and in providing clients with timely and meaningful reports. It's super easy to use, so a good way to get clients more involved with their numbers and own their budgets. With a click of a button, you can budget on a cash or accruals basis. You have an integrated balance sheet. Actuals pull seamlessly from Xero. Again, it's just a click of a button to view your expected cash position at any given month. And the reporting is great.
And I guess from our perspective at Figured, we hear commercial manager being used across a number of different industries. What type of businesses do you see commercial manager best supporting at BFA?
Yeah, so we use it for a range of businesses, including agricultural contractors, excavation operators, trucking businesses, medical practices, non-farming, multi-trusts, rentals, and clients in retail and hospitality. We also use it for commercial clients using trackers in Xero, so have multiple businesses trading through one entity. Using the multi-enterprise plan, you can have separate budgets per tracker and then report on consolidated too. Those are the industries that we use it for, but you can really use it for any business that wants frequent budget updates.
Fantastic. And, we've got a lot of public accounting firms and maybe a couple of commercial businesses on this webinar today. What advice would you have or give to a firm that's looking to adopt commercial manager for their clients and their teams?
Just get in and have a go. It's super easy to use. If you can get around an Excel workbook, you'll find Figured a breeze to work with.
Cool. Awesome. No, that's fantastic. And Malvina, it's your lucky day. There's no questions for you, so I'm sure you'll be pretty happy about that. But certainly if there's any questions from Malvina or any other users, feel free to reach out to us at Figured, and we're happy to put you in touch with those people that have been using Figured for a little bit longer. But certainly, Malvina, just on behalf of the team at Figured and everyone here on the webinar today, we just want to extend a big thank you to you for sharing your experience with us. So big thanks, Malvina.
That's right. Thanks for having me.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Malvina, and thanks for that introduction, Andrew, as well. I'm just going to launch a quick poll just to get a bit of a gauge for what's most important to you on the webinar for your commercial planning software. So if you could have a look at that and just answer the question that sort of best represents what you're looking at, and then we'll move forward into more of a demo. Awesome, seeing those results coming in now. Sweet, so I'll just go ahead. If you haven't chucked your answers in, do that now. Otherwise, I'll quickly end it. Cool. So sharing those results. So it really looks like ease of use came in up top there, followed shortly by customization, and then speed to create a forecast. So that's really good information to know. So firstly, I wanted to show you how simple it is to set up a new file with an existing Xero subscription. So time is money, and we recognize that commercial planning software should ultimately make processes more efficient, so you can spend more time on those key decisions and advice. So with that in mind, we've made it super easy to set up a new business. So once you're connected with the organization, it's just a case of navigating to your my.figured.com page, and then clicking create new farm, and then entering the details of your commercial business. And at this billing point, you're selecting the commercial manager product plan, enter any promo code that you have, and then it's just a case of linking it up with that Xero account that you already have. So within minutes, you can have a new file created with all the monthly coded account level detail flowing through from Xero. So nice and easy. And lastly, before we jump into the demo, I just wanted to talk about this 3-step planning process within Commercial Manager. So I'm going to reference this throughout the product demo. Step 1 is obviously creating a plan. So doing so in the planning grid inside of Commercial Manager, taking a snapshot, which is our budgeting solution. And then as you go throughout the year, it's about comparing that plan with your live, or comparing actuals with your live plan, and then reforecasting based on those actuals and any variances for the rest of the year. So, and you can always report on actuals plus forecast against any version of your budget iterations. It's a great way to budget, leveraging that real-time data that's flowing through from Xero. So let's jump into my bicycle demo business and have a look at Commercial Manager. So firstly, I just want to draw your attention to the global date selector up the top. So this will dictate what you see on any page, whether that's actuals or forecasts only, or a combination of the two with actuals up to a particular date. So on my dashboard for this bicycle business, you can just see there's a couple of charts here. It's a really quick way for you to track or see how your client's tracking to their budget at a glance, and then drill down into more detail if necessary. But we'll go into more about where this data comes from shortly. But firstly, I'm just going to jump into the planning grids, and we're going to work through step 1, as I showed you on that diagram, which is a complete creating a plan in your planning grid. So you've also got the Xero icon down the bottom. So we sync between Figured and Xero a few times automatically every day. But if you do want to prompt a manual sync, you can click this button, and that will fully update and synchronize the two platforms. The planning grids is where you'll create your plan. You've got your chart of accounts flowing through from your Xero file on the left. As Malvina mentioned before, you can plan on a cash and a profit basis. And you can customize your category to suit that commercial business. So this being a bike business, under tools, configure accounts, you can create those custom categories. And if you've got like-for-like commercial businesses, you can copy that configuration across, so you're not having to complete it every time. So we understand the need to have an efficient and streamlined planning process for your clients. So especially in today's climate, the belt's getting tight and banks are demanding this information more quickly. So it pays to have that accurate and live rolling plan at your fingertips. You don't have to spend hours building out a plan. And so leveraging actual information from Xero, we've built in a quick workflow that allows you to keep on top of this with ease. So in this example, I'm going to be working in 2023, and I'm going to create a plan for this year. So you can see in my date sector, I've got actuals to none, viewing a full year of forecast. And a really quick and easy way to start building your plan is importing from last year's actuals. So under tools, import last year's actuals. You can pull in that historically coded information from Xero to populate a base plan as your forecast for the following year. Now, if you don't have historical actuals, you do have some planning tools, which I'll show you shortly, or you could import through a CSV or a variety of other options. So once you've got a baseline plan in there, it's really easy to adjust. So I'm just going to have a look at one of my accounts here. So for my vehicle, fuel and oil accounts, I might choose to spread this on a distribution curve based on last year's actuals. So I can do so by selecting spread in the curve and last year's actuals. And I might want to update this. I know that my fuel is going to increase quite a lot for this year. So I might update that to 15,000, and I can spread that across, and that will just update proportionally to how that expense profile was distributed in the prior year. So instantly allowing me to update my plan based on those assumptions on real data from the previous year. So that's one quick way to update your plan. Another way is the dynamic planning tool, which is a new functionality in the platform. So you can actually switch to the auto calculation, which is the dynamic planning. So what this allows you to do is it adds further intelligence into the plan by auto updating an account forecast based on another account's forecast from the formula that you create. So I might want to link this up with my sales account, and I might say that my cost of goods sold should auto update as 45% off my sales account monthly. So I can spread that across, and that just means that that's now linked up to that sales account. So if I go back up here, got my sales account. If I need a reforecast later in the year, that will automatically update that cost of goods sold account. And lastly, another tool you have is the account schedules function. So if you want to add some more detailed transactions on any accounts, you can click through the account schedules, create non-GST rated transactions, no cash impacts. You can specify the transaction and payment dates, add notes, quantities, a rate, etc. You can really lean into the level of detail that the account schedules provide. And lastly, you do also have interest on overdraft calculator. So under tools, overdraft setting, if you want Figure to automatically calculate that based on the settings that you create, that's all set up through there. So that's just a taste of a few key planning tools you can use to help you build out a plan quickly and add some automation into it. The important thing is that you can create a plan fast, but then also lean into the details when you need to. So once you've created the plan for the year, what you'll do is take a snapshot. So this is Figure's budgeting solution, and it acts as a photo of your file at a point in time with any combination of actuals and forecasts. And they flow into your reports, allowing for easy actuals versus budget comparisons. Your first plan of the year, you'll set to be your annual plan, which just denotes it as that main first plan. And then you can take as many snapshots as you like throughout the year as you reforecast based on any changes that you track. So we'll look at that shortly, but step one is really as easy as that. In under 30 minutes, you can streamline setting up a commercial business with Figured and then build out a forecast and save that plan down. So that might be it for you if you're just creating a one-off plan or one-off forecast for the bank. But Figured makes it really straightforward to go to steps 2 and 3, which are compare and adjust, and then move into more of that advisory and management reporting space to have upkeep of the plan that you've created. So yeah, that's the overview of step 1. Now I'm just going to move my actuals 2 in this file up to last month. So we're now going to be looking at more of a live view of what's happened throughout the year. Hopefully whoever's been managing this bicycle business has been, tracking throughout the year and reporting and reforecasting. But with actuals up to last month now, which is a common view to have in the global data settings to have your most up-to-date coded information pulling through from Xero, you can now see I've got 10 months of actuals flowing through. And any of these blue links are clickable, which will take you directly through to the sales transactions inside of Xero for those. Cool. So we'll run some reports and assess any variances between what has now actually occurred versus what I'd originally planned for. So jumping into the reports section down here under reporting reports, you can see you've got quite a good variety of different reports there. Firstly, we're just going to be looking at the cash flow variance. You can run this on a profit basis as well. And we'll use this in the context of reviewing our plan that after the actuals have come through. Just looking under additional options, you've got plenty of different selections to choose from. I'm going to be looking at actual month versus forecast month for Jan, and then year to date versus forecast year to date, and then showing that forecast remaining. So that is what these 3 columns here are showing. So straight away, you can see that this is a pretty powerful report to utilize on a monthly or quarterly basis, ensuring that any variation to plan is accounted for in a reforecast. So really helps you drill down into the individual categories that might be causing the biggest variances, and then accurately advise your clients on where money might need to be allocated or clawed back in the remaining months to not deviate too far from that initial plan. So you can also see how you're tracking its forecast remaining to go. So with this real-time data at your fingertips, we really wanted to support you in collaborating with your clients across that one set of numbers, and therefore have built in some pretty nifty share functionality and collaboration functionality into the platform. So you can come through and save the reports, which then allows you to collaborate across this, add further notes, annotations, and then actually at users within the platform. And you can even send it out directly to them via email from the platform. So all staying across that one set of numbers. You can also download to a PDF if you prefer to send that out via your own email, and that will of course pull through the annotations that you have previously made. So that share capability is across all the different reports in Figured. So that's the variance report and an overview. And then to further assist you in how you can also compare against the budget, for a 12-monthly cash flow P&L, you can add a comparison period. So quite useful to use in tandem with the variance report to see how you're tracking throughout the year and assess any timing or actual variances. So you can see if I'm tracking against my original budget there, you've got those blue comparison lines where you can directly see what went wrong and what went right. And so that's basically an overview of the reports you could use to help you with key reports you can use to help you with that comparison step 2 against the live budget to plan. I wanted to show you a couple of other ones just to show some of the other report functionality. So in this cash flow 12-month, I've added on show overdraft limit. So I alluded to before, you could set this up in the planning grid to auto calculate. You can see here Figured is showing the overdraft headroom based on the settings that I've entered, and it's showing me where I'm breaching that overdraft headroom. So if you're building out that plan at the start of the year, forecasting, if there's going to be a lumpy cash flow, what months might I need to look at some bridging finance to help with any of those breaches. And the report settings are quite customizable. So you can also change the settings whereby you move to an annual mode and compare with the previous period. So if you want to provide a trend analysis to the bank just to show on a cash or a profit basis that they are trending in the right direction, that is also another good option to look at there as well. So that is essentially step 2 of compare, and this is really only scratching the surface. It's the tip of the iceberg for like the reporting value that Commercial Manager can bring. In step 3, it is all about adjusting your live plan back in the planning grid based on those variances that you've seen. So from here, you'd come through, adjust any of the figures that you need to based on that live plan, based on the reports. And then you could take a new snapshot. You might call this reforecast. Just to track that change. Snapshots are uneditable. So the idea being you have one annual plan at the start of the year, and every time you make a reforecast or a material change, you take a new snapshot. So you might have your annual plan and then multiple reforecast snapshots at the end of the year. So you can always report back on that data. So talking back to the dashboard, we've got our annual plan, which is our main plan, the blue line, and then always saying how you're tracking with the black line, the actuals plus forecast position to that plan, and then looking at that waterfall variance by category there. So that is essentially an overview of those steps. So we created the plan, we compared with actuals, and then we reforecasted and adjusted based on those actuals. Quite straightforward, nice and easy, and allows you to lean into more details if you need to. So there are a number of value add options inside Commercial Manager outside of that core planning process I've just worked through. So I'm going to take you through just a few of those now. We're almost done, but the first one being using the snapshots function to create a detailed what if monthly analysis. So through tools import, you can actually import previous snapshots. So at the start of the year, if you want to create multiple budget iterations to test it out with a client, or just have it there to always chop and change as you need, re-import it and then update it, there's a really good option to utilize. Secondly, Figured's Commercial Manager also has report packs. So we really saw a need to standardize the reporting process and reduce the admin time it takes for management and end of year reporting. So you can create your custom report template and add in dynamic saved views from your report settings. So at the click of a button, whether that be monthly or quarterly, you can pull through all your favorite reports and then schedule that to send out directly to you or your client. To really streamline that process. There is also an assets and liabilities register and a market value balance sheet capability inside Commercial Manager. So if you want to add a Figured only asset or add in a liability like a loan and help Figure calculate those more detailed loan repayments, you can do so. So under add a new liability, you can map up the loan account, just set the start date of the loan back to when it started, and then you can match that payment schedule based on the structure of the loan as you need to. So you can configure that all in there. And we've also got a fully standalone market value balance sheet. So seeing the need that our partners were exporting the balance sheet and chopping it up in Excel. So that's all now capable of accessing and managing inside the statement of position. And finally, the scenarios tool. So scenarios was really born out of a need to assist in the strategic planning process. So scenarios is an annualized future planning tool. And whether it be strategic expansion, risk mitigation, refinancing, etc., you can leverage actual data that's already in Figure and Xero as an existing income and expense position, and then extrapolate that out anywhere from 1 to 10 years into the future. So you might start with a status quo scenario, business as usual, and then see how that is looking 5 years down the track, and then assess over some KPIs, at this, if you're going to add potential changes, what if scenarios, you can do this across a large variety of situations, whether that be stress testing, factoring in interest rate hikes, refinancing, strategic purchasing, etc. So that covers off the product demo today. If there's anything to take away from Commercial Manager, it's the speed and simplicity in which you can set up a business, create a plan, and then manage throughout the year. And then also allowing for leaning further into the details if you need to. So yeah, that covers off the demo. I'm going to pass it back to Andrew to finish off the rest of the webinar.
Cool. No, thanks, Matt. Yeah, certainly. I hope you found it useful, team. And if you're keen to learn a little bit more about how that tool operates and need a bit more of an extensive show through, yeah, feel free to reach out to us at any time. Also, to Malvina's point, I think that's really important is, give it a good go, test it out yourself and go from there. But certainly we can support with that. Certainly if you're seeing value using this tool across some clients, what we've done is we've sort of created a bundle package of 20 Commercial Manager subscriptions for a monthly price of $400. Okay, so what this will enable you to be able to do is add and remove client files as part of that subscription bundle. Okay, so give you a little bit more flexibility on how you want to use the tool across a subset of clients. Now that offer is available for the next 30 days and it's available for any new Commercial Manager subscription. What we'll also do with our team is get in behind the support with any great training for support for staff and clients. So if you want to get your team up to speed, like BFA, get them fully utilising the tool and familiar to the tool, we have to support with that. Likewise, clients, if you're looking to get clients in the file, getting and using it, running their own reports, building out their own forecasts and reforecasting, yeah, we're happy to support that with that also. Just a note on that the Commercial Manager subscription is at $25 for the individual file from the 1st of March. What Matt's done is he's just included a link in the, what is it there, Matt? The chat. Chat bubble. If you're interested in taking out the bundle or you need more information, yeah, feel free to click that link, add your details, and we'll be in touch after this webinar. But certainly there'll be a bit more information about this package and this bundle offer in that webinar summary that will be sent out following this. Cool. So that's a little bit about how we can support you guys. We have got roughly around about 5 minutes left of the webinar today. We might just close off with any questions. There's been a few that have been all answered superbly and quite diligently by Scott. Malvina, you got anything else to add, in terms of your experience at BFA and, like one of the interesting things that we're seeing on the agri front is obviously, more requirement from the banks, with bank reporting for agri clients. Are you seeing the same with commercial clients, and is the value in Commercial Manager helping you and your clients with those discussions with bankers in the commercial space too?
Yeah. I guess the main like we started using Commercial Manager when we had our first lockdown, and predominantly it was used for clients in the retail and hospitality industries, because those are the ones that were impacted the work hardest and needed like more help. So it definitely that kind of got us into it, and it got us like using it in all these other industries. So we've seen how efficiently it can be used across the board. But in terms of clients, like it's the same as when you use it for agri. It's all good for us to do a budget for a client, but if a client isn't involved in that budget and we're just doing it for a bank, it doesn't really mean anything. So because Figured is super easy to use, it was quite easy to get the clients involved. Like if they're already using Xero, they could use Figured and essentially, like I said, own their budget. So in terms of like from a banking point of view, I do feel like it would be more meaningful and provide them with a bit more kind of leverage in terms of interest rates and all that sort of stuff. It's not just being prepared by us, it is being prepared by the client.
Yeah, I love that. So what you're saying there is that, it's about the team effort and, the client driving that first and foremost, and having an easy tool to be able to do that themselves.
Yeah.
Perfect. No, that's cool. Fantastic, Malvina. As said earlier on, it's been an absolute pleasure for you to obviously contribute, provide some insight in terms of your experience using Commercial Manager at BFA. So yeah, once again, thank you so much. I think we're pretty much tapped out of questions, but certainly if you have any other further questions, feel free to reach out to your BDM or partner success specialist at Figured. Certainly we'll send out a follow-up email after this, so if you do have any questions, feel free to connect. We're more than happy to reach out and certainly support you with any queries that you might have.